Hey, good evening. I'm John Sylvia with Neighborhood News. I'm here with Carlos. It's another Tuesday night.
It's another Tuesday night, and we're back with one more Neighborhood News, and we want to welcome everybody. You remember, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock we have a new show on the air. If you are watching us in a different day than a Tuesday, look for, so you're watching a repeat, so look for a new show next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. E já agora, as boas-vindas para as pessoas da comunidade portuguesa que estão a escutar-nos neste momento. Sejam bem-vindos. Nós estamos aqui com mais um programa de notícias da sua vizinhança que acontece todas as terças-feiras às 7 horas da noite aqui neste canal 95. And we're back after last week. You could make it, so I was in here with the representative Carol Fayola, and we had a very nice conversation. Nice. We give plenty of information out there, and the work the three of them are really doing in Boston and representing us very well.
Yeah, absolutely. She has, with the whole bridge thing lighting up.
Yes.
I mean, that's another thing that could help. So
and again, thank you to her, and we will eventually bring on Paul and Ellen to add what was being said and
great.
what's been working with them, which I have to say the three of them are working very well together, and that that put us on a map in Boston, and so they know that we are a city working together and moving together, and they pretty much been getting a lot of money for us. That's the way they're supposed to be doing in there. Anyway, so
no, you're right.
they're doing a good job. Before we move on, we don't have guests today, but we're going to be pretty much talking. We will be having those nice conversations that happens when we don't have a guest, and comes up a nice show. But before we do that, we do have a couple of announcements that we want to present it, and you can start with yours.
Okay, yeah, I can start with, actually this is an important one, and it's going to be held on February 27th at 6 p.m. at Government Center in the City Hall chambers. This is the last in a set of 3 solid waste proposals. And there are a bunch of them on the table. I believe pay-as-you-throw might be one of them. Privatizing this, which would mean having a private company come in, and I know they do that in Wareham and New Bedford. So that's another option, and I think the last option is the city's looking at building a transfer station somewhere in the city. So it's really important to get out there and hear these proposals, because we were just talking about this before the show started. So often things happen and people don't know about it. So this is your opportunity to get out there and see what's really happening. And if you don't like one of the proposals, that's your opportunity to get out there and say, no, I don't like this. So I've heard one, and I'm going to go to the meetings to see exactly what the proposals are. And some things work in some cities and towns, and some things don't work. So I guess we'll have to see.
And that's what the meetings are for, because you could get in there with an idea, and you come to find out that it's not the best idea. And so that would make us change our minds and resolve the problem. And I will be there for sure, because I think it's something to not just impact our personal lives, but impact our community, and especially the neighborhoods that we are in charge, that we represent. And if people have us represent them, is because they have a trust in us, and and we're gonna defend our neighborhood the best we can, and we all want the best for our neighborhoods.
And we, this is something that they were going to have to come up with a proposal, because this is going to end in October. I think the landfill's closing. It might even be even earlier.
Probably.
So, you know, it's interesting, because I know in conversations we've had on the show a couple weeks back or a couple months back, I had brought up a thing about, you know, can they weigh the trash when it's put in? And I talked to Ken Pacheco. They can't do that. What they do is they have a camera, a real-time camera, and they know who's putting trash out. But as far as weighing it, they can't. So that kind of knocks that pay-as-you-throw. I mean, I think the only way they could go about it are bags.
Yeah, but when we picked the idea of pay as you go, or as you throw, is the idea that was told us that the trash can be, you know, waived. So, on that case,
and I don't think they have that. They don't have that mechanism on the trucks. So basically, you'd have to buy bags like other towns. I'm not sure how that would work here in Fall River. You know, we don't have a big enforcement section. So if they can't enforce it, I don't know how that would work. So what I found interesting is, what do you think the percentage of individuals in Fall River that recycle? What would you think the percentage would be?
I have to say, we already are in a good step into, you know, the 100% you know, commitment from people to. We are in a good step on.
Okay.
I remember when I started recycling, it was the small.
Yeah, it was those little bins,
boxes,
little blue bins. Yeah.
Okay. When I started, we're talking about what, 4 years ago?
It might have been even longer, I think.
Maybe even longer.
Yeah.
And I had to go to City Hall and ask a second one because the first one was not enough.
Yeah. No,
right now, I still use that band inside the house. And what I do when I have full, I throw it inside the outside barrel.
Yeah.
And I have to say, every 2 days, 3 days, I have to empty because it's full. Yeah. So comes the day of the pickup, I have a full bin and a small bag of trash.
It's going,
So that's to say, I have no problem pay as you throw, because how much is going to cost me? $3 a bag? $3 a week to trash it? Well, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, you know, and no, I agree with you, because I'm the same way. I recycle. I have to put my trash out tomorrow. I didn't put it out last week, and I have a full recycle bin, and I have 2 bags of regular trash, which I might not even put the trash out this week. So that it would be 3 weeks by the time I put out. But what do you think? You were kind of skipping around that. What's the percentage from 0 to 100 in Fall River?
I will say that we recycled probably, I will say 30%.
Oh, you're kind of close. It was 22.
22?
So
yeah, I will say around 30%.
Yeah. So 22 out of 100, that's not even a quarter of the population recycling. So.
But remember, those numbers went up when we got the big barrels.
Yeah. And I agree.
You know,
I think
it's an education. We need to educate the community to recycle.
Yeah, you know what, Carlos, I agree, and I was one to want to do that too. But when I start thinking about it and saying, you know what, drive down some of these streets where you've got these packed 3 families, and there are mostly renters there. The landlords don't live in town, and they have all their barrels out, and sometimes the barrels have trash coming out. There's that much trash in 1 week. So I don't know who would monitor this. If they don't do this, you know, who would monitor it? And I know other cities have done that, but they have more people to do this, you know.
But I have told you that before, and I'm going to repeat myself again. If I'm going to be just like all the others, why recycle?
Yeah. No, and
I'm going to be, you know, the city's going to, again, step on my hand for doing a good thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, what is, so I don't have to recycle. If I'm going to pay, I don't have to recycle. That's the answer that we want?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the answer that we want.
Yeah, I know, and you're right. I think the only way to get people to recycle is that pay-as-you-throw model. I just don't know if
it would. John, we have to enforce it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the tickets when you take your dog to walk.
Yeah.
Okay? If you don't enforce it, if the public don't open the page and see first page, somebody got a $200 ticket because he didn't pick up his dog.
Yeah.
They don't care.
No, I agree.
But if they see that,
yeah.
and if they have a dog, they're going to think twice. Somebody could be taking pictures of them, or whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing. I think that we need to do. Even if you give 10 tickets a day, you already paid for the person to be working.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. And I think Mike Mioza and Eric Poulin brought this back in prior elections, that we should have a trash monitor. As people are throwing things in the street, tag them. But there's never any money to do this stuff, you know.
But on the other way, I'm going to say, if everybody, as long as you pay, you don't have to recycle it. We're never going to get on recycling.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get on that bandwagon. I know there is just, I think here being a city, you know, I think you got to get everybody out of the mindset. They had free trash for how long did we have free trash? We had free trash for 20-something years. And, you know, we're paying the price because we have a mountain over there. But, you know, I think we all got to get out of that mindset that, you know, you can't do that. But when I talk to, you hear different people. I've heard landlords saying, you know, when their tenants move out and they leave the furniture in there, why can't the city come pick that up? It's not their responsibility. Well, you know what? You are the landlord. So it is your responsibility. And, you know, unfortunately, people don't want to hear this. And we have this cycle where we have a 2-year cycle. So, of course, nobody's going to say this to folks. Because, you know, obviously you want to get reelected, but I think we're our own worst enemy with this sense, because, you know, if you're getting rent from folks and then they're not doing the right thing, you know, that's up to you now. You know, you need to go down there and straighten this out. You know, that's what you have security deposits for.
Maybe create another deposit. Maybe create another deposit. I mean, everybody's asking for a deposit in front now, in case if you leave the house and you have a window broke, or if you have a door kicked in. Same thing.
Yeah.
No, take a deposit. If you don't clean your house the way you're supposed to do, we keep you money to pay somebody to come pick it up.
And you know, I agree, and I know this from experience. I've been a landlord. I'm one now, and I was a landlord years ago. And I was in a predicament because I lived in the place, I moved out, and my rent didn't pay for the mortgage. So I was putting money in each month. And it's not easy having tenants, but I can tell you this much, and people may disagree or agree with me, but I always knew when I got somebody into that unit that, you know, whether I'm going to have a problem or not. And if I knew I was going to have a problem, I knew what the problem would be, and can I deal with this? I wouldn't rent it out if I knew there was going to be a problem. And I'd pay it myself for a couple months then, just to deal with it. I get a job to do that. But, you know, you, as landlords, they have to screen these tenants. And you're the one that's going to be dealing with it, you know? So,
yeah, and exactly. You are the one putting that tenant on your house. So it's your responsibility to know who you put there. Yeah. If you don't care, then when they leave, we don't care.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. And I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe the pay-as-you-throw model could work with other three families, because maybe if their tenants aren't recycling, then they need to say, look, if this bin isn't, you know, if you're not recycling, then your rent's $10 more because they're going to charge me more. You know.
Exactly.
And you know.
Again, it's going to pass on to the person that are renting.
Yeah.
If I'm going to keep my place clean, I'm going to get my money back. So I don't lose anything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't lose anything. But again, I think for a person like me that have to pay after recycling, and now I'm 100% into that system of recycling, that's just going to, those 22%, if that gets implemented, that goes back to 5%.
Yeah, well, I think the proposal they're going to have out there with the pay-as-you-throw is that you're going to pay for bags, and then basically what's going to happen is, so if you only put one bag out a week, you're only going to pay $4 a week. So, but if you're one of these other houses I was describing that had 10 bags, they're going to pay what is that, $40 then, I guess? Roughly $40 a week. So then that will bring the incentive if you know you can throw things into a recycle bin. So hold on one sec.
Yeah.
But for you and I, who do recycle, what happens is we only buy one bag as opposed to them buying 10, and then they put in some kind of, as to how many bags were sold, they give a share out to the city again. And it's in the form of like a gift card. So if you basically recycled, you're only paying $4 plus you have that chance of, you know, whatever the city recycles that goes out and you get a gift card.
I understand that, and if they really want this to work, what they can do, sometimes you rent apartments where you have the dryer and the washer on the basement, and you put quarters on.
Yeah.
So why don't use the same system?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have 20 apartments.
Yeah.
I buy the bags cheaper.
Yeah.
I put a machine on my basement.
Yeah.
You rent from me. Instead of going to the city and pay $4 for a bag, you buy on my basement because I got it cheap. I have a lot of people renting my houses. I'm going to give a lot of business to the city.
Yeah.
So you can buy the bags cheaper.
Yeah, I don't know if you can buy that. I don't know. We'll have to see what the plan is. That's going to be.
We're talking.
But the plan, I think, basically that would be the way of the landlord handling that. Basically, that was a good idea. Basically, they buy the bags, $4 bags, throw them all in one thing. When you want them, let me know. I'll sell you 10 of them, and then you ensure that they're actually, you know, paying for the bags. You might get some kickback, you know, some pushback from the landlords because they don't want to have to be, you know, looking at the bags.
And the city needs to create incentives for the people that have that many apartments to work with them so they can pass it on to people that are renting from them.
Yeah, maybe they can. But you know what, then, Carlos, then you're going to have that issue that why are you getting the bags for $4 and I'm getting, I mean, why are you getting for $3? I'm getting them for $4. So he's selling them cheaper. So that you're putting people at a disadvantage.
Because he's buying a bag with 100 bags.
Yeah.
I don't need a box of 100 bags.
Yeah.
If they got a box with 20 bags, cheaper than buy one by one, I would buy a 20 bag box.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm saying? It's all the way. We need to work on it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
We need to work on it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think the worst thing they will do is go back when people lose the interest of recycling.
Yeah.
And then we're going to step back, and eventually we're going to have to come around and change it again.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
You know?
I mean,
But again, it's
there are proposals out there.
It's proposals,
you know,
so we're going to hear. I mean, that is my opinion. It's been, and we talked about this before, and still my opinion, because I talk in behalf of people that are recycling. And for us, it's not fair now that we are 100% into the recycling system to be put together with everybody else.
No, I
and
agree.
paying like everybody.
So I mean, basically, you know, we would only pay the $4 where they're paying 40. So there would be the incentive that way.
So that would be an incentive for them to recycle. You want to get your trash picked up for $4, you recycle. You recycle.
Yeah, no,
now
you're right.
You're on the same step.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And you pay the same as I pay.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it would be a cost for the landlords if they're not complying, because we just said it, $4 times 10, $40. If they're putting 10 bags out, that's $120 a month added on. So yeah, there's got to be an incentive, but sometimes.
But I understand on the other side, a lot of trash. It's going to go into parks. It's going to go into.
Yeah, well,
I understand that part.
No, I don't know if that's going to be necessarily the case. I don't know if people are going to just throw their trash in the streets. I think people have got better at that. You know, I'm not saying we don't have folks that still do that, but I don't see many people throwing bags out on the streets.
I still think that that's the way to go. If we only going to catch one person, and take it one person a month, that's only we have people to out there to do it. But in the meantime, if we gets out of hand, and we can actually with this pay somebody to be constantly out there passing on tickets, I'm fine with it. Because the problem we have in the city is we have the laws, but we don't enforce them. And then we try to come up with new laws to enforce the law, You know,
Well, and you know what? You bring up a good point, because something the other day, this was probably a couple weeks back, aggravated me like crazy. It was on Facebook. And I don't know if you're on that Grew Up in Fall River site. There's a web page, Grew Up in Fall River. Somebody put on there that the police were at Walmart, Super Walmart, and they're giving tickets out for inspection stickers. So if your inspection sticker is expired, the police are giving tickets out. And they were all like in an uproar. Thanks for telling me. I don't know why they're doing this. And I'm thinking, this is the law. You have to have an inspection sticker. So why are you upset if you go to Walmart? My thing is, you don't follow the rule. If you get a ticket, you eat it, because that's what you did. So I think, I don't think this is just a Fall River thing or a Massachusetts thing. This has become a nationwide thing where people just don't think, because we don't have enough people to enforce these things at times, they don't think that they have to follow the rules, and it's become the norm now. So when they get ticketed, they're upset. What do you mean?
And they're going to get away with it.
Yeah, and that's just...
It's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get caught.
Well, that's what I mean. And I just thought it was totally crazy that you don't follow the rules. So we're the stupid ones, because we're paying the $30 a year to get our inspection stickers, but people don't think they have to pay, and when they get ticketed, they're like, this is not fair. And I mean, so I think it's that whole...
And gets a lot more complicated than that, because if you don't have a sticker on your car, that means that you don't have insurance.
Yeah.
That means that your plate, it's not registered.
Well, I mean...
It's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because all those three come together.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's interesting, because this happened to me about 10 years ago. I worked in Rhode Island, and it was a Saturday. Actually, it was a Sunday, and I went, oh, crap. I was busy. My inspection sticker expired that day. Monday was a work day. So I said, you know what? I can't really take a day out of work today. I'll just do it right after work. I'll leave work earlier. So lo and behold, what happened to me that day? I drove out of my driveway. I'm driving down the road. Police pulled me over and gave me a ticket. Now, I'm not going to be mad. I wish I could have got the thing. I mean, but it was still, I should have noticed that from like a week prior. But I learned a lesson that way. I got the ticket, and do you know what else happened to me? For 4 years, I had a point on my insurance. So this is what I'm saying, where people, when you get caught, you got probably a $40 ticket, and now you probably have $100 or $200 more amount on your insurance for the next 4 years. So, you know,
I have to say, I was luckier than you. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was driving on Pleasant Streets, and this police car just pulled me over and asked me if I knew why you were stopping me.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I have no idea. You know, I mean, I'm coming so slow. I know I went through the green lights. It was right after the green light that he stopped me. And he said, because your car is not registered. And I said, my car is not. I just paid my bill last week. I paid my insurance last week. And he asked for my documents, so you went on the car. He saw that I never had tickets, I never have anything, you know. I have a very clean record. So he came back to me and he said, you know, you need to go to the Register of Motor Vehicles and renew your sticker, your plate sticker. Okay. He didn't give me a ticket or anything because he saw that I didn't have any record. You know, probably never. He probably found out that never happened to me. You know, and so that's exactly what I did. I turned around on Pleasant Streets and I went straight to the motor vehicles. Took me 20 minutes, paid $35, came out of there with a new sticker, put on my plates, the problem is resolved. But if you think that you're going to get away, you're going to get away 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. But eventually, you're going to get caught.
And you're right, and it gets back to that. But remember when we were younger? I mean, when I was like 19 or 20 back in the early 80s, you know, if a police officer pulled you over, you were like, I'm sorry, yes, sir, that. I actually have to say now, I've seen people get it pulled over, and as you're driving by, I've seen people yelling at the police. Now, why would you yell at the police? Number one, first of all, you wouldn't want people yelling at you, so why are you yelling at them? But I think that, you know, and this is just society. It has nothing to do with here. You know, there's a loss of, you know, people have lost respect for authority, and that's not always a good thing either. So, so we'll see how that.
So
anyway, get you off the track.
That meeting, yes, that meeting is coming. It's Thursday, the 27th.
Yep.
And
it's at 6 p.m. Government Center, the City Council chamber. chamber area. So yeah, get down there, see what they have. Like I said, I know there's looking at doing a transfer area, transfer point to bring all the trash and maybe try to take all the recyclables out of there. So that's another option that they're looking at. So you know, just get out there and let them know. I mean, you know, you and I, we've gone to many meetings,
Yes.
and there's like 10 people there. I mean, we have 88,000 people or 84,000 people. You know, we don't want to get into the habit of, you know, I've seen many times where people will go to meetings after something's been implemented and say, why did this happen? I mean, you know, there is enough word out there to say when these things are happening. We need to get involved, you know, and just see what's happening. And if you don't like what's happening, tell them. You know, I think if they only hear from 10 people, those are the only 10 things they hear from, and they might hear from people calling them, but that's all they have to gauge it by.
And it's exactly what happens in all the boards. All the boards, the neighbors get letters when construction's going to happen, whatever. They get letters. They just don't show up on the meetings. The board looks around, says nobody here. That means it's everybody
it's okay.
agrees with.
Yeah, nobody's against it.
So nobody's against it. Let's approve it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So that's why. And then when people see the trucks coming out and in and out on this street, what's going on? They don't know, and they, you know.
No,
it's,
I agree.
So we need to get more involved, and this one thing I'm going to promise: we're not going to see snow in July.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
So we're going to get over this snow.
Yeah.
It's like every other day. I have snow for sale. Do you want to buy snow?
No, I don't have any more.
Oh,
but, you know,
because I have more coming, so I need to empty the house.
Yeah, no, I don't want any more either.
We've been having a lot of snow this year. But that being said, yeah, the community needs to get out there, start going to the meetings, start getting involved. Spring, it's around the corner. Our neighborhood's going to start having the cleanups and all of that, and all that it's possible with the help of
everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. So
that's what we want to. I want to mention that we're having an event on 260 Alden Street. That's Lindo's restaurant, is shrimp Mozambique style, and that's to fundraise money for the Vol School, and the tickets are only $15. I say the best thing probably is, because we want to be serving between 2 and 6. Best thing probably will be to take out and enjoy it at home with your family. So for tickets, you can call me at 774-526-2221. And I know you're having one too, but we will talk about that next show, because yours, it's in April.
Yeah, it's in April,
in April. So we have plenty of shows before that. So I think we all set to wrap up.
That's it. Yep.
That's
Another
it.
week. That was quick.
Very good. See you guys next week. Again, don't forget, at 7 o'clock. We didn't have a chance to talk about the meetings at City Council last night and all of that. We had so much to talk about.
Another day. I probably went on a rant for a bit there. So anyway.
So and that's going to be all.
Yep.
Thank you, and see you next week.
Have a good.